And here we are, and it looks like Cal has something to say. You catch Cal at the gate of the gardens. He's carrying a big bucket of rocks. "Hi, Solanna," he exclaims. "I'm supposed to tell you there's a new park near Geoponics now." "Oh, yay, the park," Cal says. "We can run around all we want, and nobody will ever say we're trampling the fields. You should come play there sometimes." "Yeah, definitely." I want to help Socks, but I'm afraid to leave. Maybe Cal, if I don't go out, then Cal will eventually have to let her go and she'll not get killed by Loom. You know, I would like to work on my organization some more. You run experiments that involve lighting things on fire to see what happens. Who said doing science was for boring eggheads? This is great! Yeah, I'm sure Anemone would have found that quite entertaining. Oh, I wonder, should I switch those? Yeah. And I got 3 stars! Yes, I leveled up biology. Or I thought I did. Yes! More collectibles will respawn faster. Okay, like that mushroom. And Dad? Your dad was sniffling and sneezing pretty bad this morning. He collapsed around this time last year, so you've been feeling anxious about his health, especially now that the pollen is back. He's working hard in the fields, respirator hanging from his neck as he grunts and shovels dirt into the wheelbarrow. He sees you coming and stands up straight, coughing a little as he stretches his back. "Hey kiddo, what brings you out here? Why aren't you wearing your respirator?" Your dad makes a blah 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 motion with his hand. I do. Don't look at me like that. I'm just getting some fresh air. It's hard to breathe with that thing on. It'll be hard to breathe when the shimmer has filled your lungs. I'm racing to get these pixie beans in the ground," he continues. "We're all set to have a great harvest in time for Vertumna. But the pixie beans are dangerous, Dad. Especially to teens." He leans on his shovel, trucking one foot behind the other and rocking back and forth. "Truth is, I've been working like a dog, and I'd love to get out here for a while. Hey, what do you say you and I go for a walk?" he says, brightening. "I know you don't get outside the walls much either, but we do a little nature walk. I study all the plants the foragers bring back, but I've never really seen them in the wild." "No, it's too dangerous." "Nah," your dad guffaws. "People go out there all the time. We'll stick close to the colony, don't worry. Your mom doesn't see the draw," he continues, flipping his shovel up into the shoulder and picking his way carefully out of the turn fields. "She likes what she can control, you know? But there's a whole planet out there, and I want to go explore." He stops and doubles over, suddenly racked with a coughing fit that makes him unable to speak. He tries a few times to catch his breath, but each time he just coughs harder. The pink pollen in the air swirls and eddies around you both. "You need to stay inside." "Oh," your dad wheezes. "You're just like Instance, that old stick in the mug. I remember when we were younger, she was always walking around with her nose in everyone's business. She always thinks she knows what's best for people." Despite his brave words, he has to hold on to you for balance as he catches his breath again. "Okay, maybe now's not the best time," he gasps, finally putting his respirator back on. "But you and me, we have a date with the outside world, kiddo. And I'm taking a rain check." "Oh," he says, eyes red-rimmed and streaming from the irritation. "I can't wait until Instance figures out a treatment for this shimmer thing. She says maybe next year, maybe the one after that. I'm gonna be the first in line, you bet." And in that case, I think I'll go to engineering since that's where they were working on the cure. And I'll say hi to you two. Tammy presents you with a carefully folded pair of socks. "I hope you don't mind, Solanna. I was in the laundry room and I noticed that your socks were starting to get some holes." "Oh, well, thank you for fixing them. And hey, Cal." "Yeah, my dad especially, and that's why I'm gonna try working in biology." You see a notice in the engineering holoweb. "Professor Howell is looking for someone to help with after-school tutoring. You should know the basics and be a quick study for the rest. Please apply." I can't. I don't have enough reasoning. So I guess I'll just focus on my own studies. You can't very well teach others until you learn the material yourself. So I wonder, will that option show up now? Yeah, okay. Oh, hi, Tangent. My parents. I love you both. I'll help you. If I work on the farm, then Dad can work in the xenobotany lab. Your mom has been trying for years to get the hydroponics working again. So much of the equipment was damaged in the wormhole accident, and it keeps breaking in new and interesting ways. For the first time, first it's the temperature, then the pH, then there's a problem with the nutrient load. It's all very technical, and when you try to ask your mom what's wrong, she only snaps at you to mind your business and let her handle it. Oh, fine, I guess I'll use the mushwood. Wait, how much did the mushwood add? Add 2 to a card, okay. It'll let me win. You're getting older. It's the magical time in your life, full of discoveries and possibilities, when children become adults and their bodies change in weird, wonderful, and often embarrassing ways. When you were younger, Congruence gave your class a frank presentation about preparing for the changes your bodies would experience in the next few years. Which parts of the presentation was relevant to you? You and your friends giggle your way through Congruence's presentation and left with a new appreciation for the wonders of the human body. Puberty had felt like something that would happen so far in the future that it didn't apply to you. You put it out of your mind, even as you noticed Cal's voice begin to drop and Mars starting to dress differently. Until one morning you wake up and something feels different. You just know something's off as soon as you open your eyes, and things are squelchier than you expect them to be down there. You just want to close your eyes again and remember Congruence's sexual education class, and you're really not ready for their real-world practical applications. If you just go back to sleep, it'll go away, right? You finally sigh and muster up the courage to look under your blankets. Yep, the period started. Mom, help please. You pull back your privacy curtain and gesture for your mom to come over. When she sees the problem, her eyes go wide and she gives you a big hug. My little girl's growing up, she exclaims, and you feel your face grow bright hot with embarrassment. Your dad is right there. She puts her hands on your shoulders. I'm so happy for you, kiddo. I know you're probably grossed out, but getting your period is important. Sometimes we need that bit of mess in our lives to remind us that we're real, that we're a part of this world. It reminds us that we have the ability to make life and the responsibility to take care of that life. Getting your period is a beautiful thing. You can't think of anything worse. Thankfully, soon you can get a blocker to keep from having to go through this every month. Your mom hugs you again and keeps talking about how she's proud of you. It's super embarrassing, and you can't help but shove her away and retreat to your bunk to stew about it. What is happening? You feel so on edge today, like everything that happens is so unfair and tragic, like you want to punch stuff then cry about it, like you want to be left alone, but you also so desperately want attention. It feels like a font of new energy is starting to bubble up inside you. Dangerous, uncontrollable energy. Welcome to puberty, Solanna. Oh boy. That's fun. That's wonderful. Hey. Cal and Tammy are walking through the garden shoulder to shoulder. Every so often Cal stops and points out something while Tammy smiles indulgently. They see you approach and stop walking, moving a little bit apart from each other. Cal waves at you. Hey Solanna, what's up? I was just coming to say hi. Tammy is waltzing around the courtyard, pretending her broom is her dance partner. She bumps into you and giggles. Oh, hello, Solanna, she says. I didn't see you there. She dusts you off and straightens your jacket. It's easier to do chores when you're having fun. Oh, I love dancing, don't you? Yeah. I think... Let's go back to biology. You file into class and take a seat. Floating on the central hollowed projector is the words sex ed. Hal stands before the class, an awkward smile on his face. All right, kids, today we're going to be learning about the various forms of reproduction, particularly in mammals. I know many of you have grasped the basics already, but consider the scientific approach. He cues up a hollow bit about mammalian reproduction before the invention of gene tech. He turns down the lights so no one feels embarrassed. Ugh. Can you believe that people used to just squirt liquids inside each other and sometimes babies came out? Ew. 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 But why is that such like an accurate way to put it? Why? And sometimes they gave each other diseases? Sounds gross. Yeah. Gross. Very gross. Seems very, very gross. No, thank you. The way the colony does it now, by implanting embryos into people who've made the choice to become parents, is so much more civilized. Hal turns the lights back on and everyone looks around and giggles. It's funny, right? Hal says, believe it or not, almost all living things have to exchange DNA with other members of their species in order to reproduce. Our bodies and our societies developed according to the ever-increasing competition for mates, and for the resources to raise the next generation. Hal chuckles. It's made some pretty strange animal behavior, including in humans, he adds. One of the goals of the Vertumna group was to break the cycle of these behaviors by the widespread adoption of gene tech as a reproduction strategy, and decrease the reliance on paired sexes as the formation of the family unit. The stratospheric left Earth with a population too small to avoid genetic bottlenecking. Hal continues, so we also brought a cache of frozen human embryos. They came from people who crowd-funded our journey but couldn't come themselves. Hal smiles genially. Some of you are already descended from those donors. When you're older, you might get to choose to have your own children naturally with a partner through the donation of another colonist or with an implanted embryo. No matter how it happens, every child is a child of the colony, of humanity, and will be treated with the same as any other. Isn't that neat? I'm sure you kids have a lot of questions, Hal says. Don't be shy. Solanna, how about you start the discussions? What do you think of the video? I don't know. The class erupts into a fresh wave of giggles at your nervousness, but Hal just smiles and shakes his head. There's nothing to be ashamed about, he says. Though we've taken the reproduction of our sexual reproduction, there's still a lot to learn that we can't cover in a video. I hope in this discussion period we can talk about things like the consent and the communication in relationships. You try not to look at anyone else in class, but Cal catches your eye. He looks just as uncomfortable as you feel, but he gives you a small, brave smile. Glad you feel the same. Tangent asks about the morality of genetic engineering next, and Cal stutters his way through asking how you're supposed to know if it's okay to have sex with someone. That's a good question, Hal responds. The decision to have sex or to not, or how, is a personal one. As your teacher, I can't tell you what's right for you. That's a conversation you want to have with your parents and other adults you trust, with your partners, and ultimately with yourself. I don't even know what commentary to make for this now. Oh goodness, okay, next month, next time. Oh, and we've reached empathy level 2, nice. Okay, next time.